Alright, I'm at 2562 Montana Avenue. I'm doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Now, they were supposed to have uncovered a clean out in the basement, and that did not happen. They were also supposed to clean this stack. It's full of rust. I'm on the roof. What we're looking for is any structural issues with the main sanitary lateral. And so last time I went through this stack, it was full of debris, like rust and stuff like that, which tends to happen, but it was causing a slow flow through the sink line. So it looks like they may have actually cleaned it, so that's good. Now we just don't know how far around this goes. So they did clean out this line. That's good news. So hopefully, as we go, we can make it all the way out to the main. This section of it is PVC. Looks like it's been replaced. And here we are going back into cast iron. Drop it in. Let's see if we can get through all this. Once we get past this little turn and get flat, it should go ahead and push. Made quite a few turns there. Cast iron is not a horrible material, but this is it's about halfway full of debris. Just being, it's pretty common, but it's got a bunch of mineral deposits. Like I said, this is relatively common to have, and then it goes into clay. That cast iron, now you're always worried about wet wipes and excessive toilet paper going into those lines with cast iron, because it's a lot more common to have it back up just from how rough the interior of the line is. And we'll talk about it a little more when I pull back, but as you can tell on the way out, the cast iron, it's almost half full of just mineral deposits and buildup of rust and stuff like that from over the years. We switched over to clay, which means we've exited the house. And so hopefully with all those turns, we can get out to the main. But we have some, you see all this, these are roots behind there. And the roots are covered in either grease or a root killer. A lot of times that's kind of what they look like when you dump root killer down these lines, is it'll kind of cause this like coating on the roots. It looks like there's been a repair made, and this may be out by the street. This is PVC. It had dropped a little bit, but that's pretty common. At least on this side, the side that dropped was on the downstream side, so it's not going to obstruct flow at all. But normally when you see PVC like this, it was installed by MSD, but based off of the footage, it may be on the property. Looks like some sand to build up from probably just from exterior lines and maybe from when they cleaned the cast iron out. We have just a little belly here. It's not anything major. That camera lens is half an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so it's not a lot of water. We're slowly making our way out here, but starting to drop, so hopefully that means we're getting close to the main because we're just kind of inching along here. It's going to be hard to get past that connection. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get a locate, see where we are, and try to turn some water on, see if that helps me get down the pipe a little bit. Okay, we are well off the property, almost into the main. Hopefully I can get this to carry a little bit further because get a little running start at this a little bit. Hopefully it works. Either way, we're off the property. We should be falling into the main. There we are right there. So we did make it all the way to the main. Everything looked relatively good here. Looks like maybe MSD installed a new line under the road from the property line all the way out. And so as I pull back, we'll take another look at that. The only thing I really saw was there was some root intrusion, and that root intrusion isn't, looks like it's been treated. And so like this is just because the water's flowing through here. We already saw all this, and this is all in good shape. This is all PVC, and it's off the property, so. So there's some optional things here. It looks like there's a clean out right there, a connection on the top. And so there may be a MSD clean out there by the road. Like I said, there's some roots here at like 69 feet. And then we got 64, but you can see me kind of putting a little hole right there. And root intrusion is very, very common in these old lines. You just need to do some maintenance on it. And in this case, you could try to use that root killer on a yearly basis, but it might be a good idea to, go ahead and maybe run a cleaner head through it or something, or run a cleaner through it, a cutter head through it to clear it before you use that. It's not blocking flow right now, but it obviously will if it continues to grow, and as long as that line, as long as this tree is sitting out front, I'm sure that's, and it's probably the one on the right hand side, but it does look like you could go through the clean out on the left front. Apparently they're saying that this line goes out the front of the house, or I mean goes out the side of the house, very high. And so the clean out that looks like a downspout leader on the left front corner if you're facing the house. You can see here's some more roots, and they are covered. Probably, like I said, the root killer. You could put that in there. This is where it leaves the. This is where it leaves the house here. You may have to. There we go. You do want to make sure that it's all flowing and functioning properly, but you can see how much buildup is there. Now you can have this. They call it descaled. And that just means that they'll run like a chain head through there, and it could, you know, break up all that buildup on the bottom of the pipe. But that also risks, you don't know how thin or thick the walls of that cast iron is, so then you're risking, you know, blasting a hole, making a hole in it. It's kind of depending on the plumber and their opinion. You know, they go back and forth. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's a 50-50 shot, but you know, there's a decent enough shot. But the line looks open and flowing. I don't see any structural issues. I don't see any, but you just have these buildups, and it's usually where something comes in. There's a connection off to your right, and then you see. Usually when you see a buildup like that, it's a turn, and so you have like a low pressure area of a turn where that's where the buildup is, like there on your right. And so most of the line, I mean, really the line looks really good. It's open and flowing for its age. And a lot of it's been replaced with PVC, so overall the line's in good shape. The only thing you have is some roots at those 3 spots, that little bit of clay outside, probably underneath the driveway, and those roots will continue to grow. And so there's a couple options there. You can, like I said, have it cleaned and then use some root killer to run through there about once a year, and it should keep the roots at bay and keep them out of the flow line and prevent it from causing a major blockage. You could do a cutter head, have it cut, have them cut out, have it cleaned out or jetted, one of those 2 things to get rid of the roots initially, but they will come back, and so you'll need to still do that root treatment in the future. And then the third thing, more of a permanent solution, would be a liner for that, like 20 feet or something like that. But most people just go ahead and do a. Just do some regular maintenance. And so if you have an initial cleaning done, and then after the fact, use some root treatment once a year, it should be good to go for years in the future. And so that's going to end the inspection at 2562 Montana Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio.